So hey everyone, my name is Brianna, and I just wanted to do a Bachelor recap for the latest episode. I believe it's episode 5 now. We're in week 5 of Nick Viall's journey in The Bachelor, and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to do previous recaps beforehand, but I never got around to them. So I'm just going to hop into this one, and maybe I'll speak on certain things that happened in previous episodes. But just to go over what happened in this episode, we start off with Corinne and Taylor, and they're having a little discussion about one another. Taylor is telling Corinne that she doesn't feel as if she's mature enough. She lacks the emotional intelligence and the maturity to be with someone like Nick or someone of Nick's age. I'm not really sure what the argument was, but yeah, something like that. And then Corinne's rebuttal was that Taylor is very condescending and she is not very nice to the other girls, and she can do to be more polite and welcoming and friendly to the other girls. So honestly, I think my perception of Corinne is similar to many viewers' perceptions of Corinne, or like my feelings about Corinne is that I don't like her. I don't like her, I think, definitely because of her, like how aggressive with her sexuality she is. Not to slut shame anyone or anything like that. It's because I feel as if definitely, you need to be able to be spontaneous and sexy with a man. That's very important in a relationship, but it has to be built on other things, not just the sexual attraction or the chemistry. And I believe as though Corinne only has that with Nick. I've never seen them speak of anything else. They speak maybe on whatever she just did recently, not like things in her life. I know that they don't have good conversations or meaningful, substantive conversations, because remember, Nick had to find out about Nanny Raquel from like the other girls. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if Nanny Raquel is such a staple in Corinne's life, I feel as though Nick should have heard about Raquel from Corinne herself first, not from the other girls. So that tells me that they are not, speaking with any kind of substance. Like, there's nothing to their conversation more than kissing and, so how are you, since I last saw you 5 minutes ago when I interrupted that other girl to speak to you about absolutely nothing. But yeah, so that is my thought on Corinne. But I will say in this episode, at least in the beginning, I definitely was rooting for her. Taylor did seem to be condescending, because when Corinne would make claims that, you don't speak to the other girls and you don't this and you don't that, Taylor was like, well, yeah, I don't. But is that a problem? And I'm like, yeah, girl, it's a problem. Like, I know the important thing is to build your relationship with Nick, but in a lot of these situations, you spend way more time with the girls than you ever do spend with Nick. So I would assume that you'd want your home life with them to be pleasant. That's the word I'm looking for, pleasant. So wouldn't you, want to say hi to them and greet them and be nice and friendly with them? Once again, I don't know, her relationships with everyone in the house, and of course you're not going to like everyone. There are multiple personalities. You're not going to jive with everyone, or vibe with everyone, so I get that. But I don't know, something, and I definitely did see the condescending way in which Taylor was speaking towards Corinne. Like, I definitely, if she was talking to me like that, I'd be like, so you're trying to call me stupid, so you think I'm stupid. Like, that would definitely be my takeaway from it. So I understand why Corinne thought that as well. So moving on, they went to New Orleans after the rose ceremony, the cocktail hour. Yes, the rose ceremony. Sorry. So they went to New Orleans, and the person that got the one-on date for this episode was Rachel. And yes, girl, yes, okay, gotta rep Black Power, all of that stuff. Finally, you get to see some like diversity in this show, and they're not being like kicked off early. I feel like Rachel goes far, and Nick was definitely so into her in this date that they had together, eating the beignets and doing the little new line, I'm not sure what it's called, sorry. That little cute little dance and sharing the kiss under the umbrellas. I think that was so cute. And him, you know, that was the first person he ever expressed, you know, like saying, I want to meet your family. Like they were talking about meeting her judge father and how he's going to address him. And you know how he said, I'm going to break the rules, or this may be breaking the rules, but I want to give you that validation that I really, really like you and I want to get to know you more and I want to meet your family. So I think that tells us all we need to know. Rachel is definitely at least going to make it up to like hometowns. I want to say that she will be there for the final rose, but she may be top two. I feel as though it's between her and Vanessa right now, even though we didn't see much of Vanessa in this episode. Vanessa was on the group date, as was Danielle L, Raven, Danielle M, and yeah, I think that was just it. Those are like the top hitters right now and the ones that got, you know, like personal time with him. Vanessa kind of fell into the background. Danielle L, both Danielles, quite honestly, I don't feel as if they have any real connection with Nick. I think Danielle L, she kind of has a Corinne relationship with Nick in that it's more him and his physical attraction towards her and maybe like their physical chemistry. Not to say that they don't speak about anything as well, but I don't feel like they have really good conversation. I think it's like very surface level. It's just like her giggling and smiling and looking cute, and love her. She's cute, but I don't see, you know, like there being a lot to the relationship other than like I find her really attractive. And that's what he said, that he found her really, really attractive and he just wanted to know if there was more. And so yeah, like they exchanged pleasantries on their date. And so I mean, I wouldn't assume that'd be a horrible date. So sure, you're like, it's not horrible, so I can keep you around, but there's nothing to it. There's nothing more to it than you're attractive and you're nice. It's not like the relationships he seems to have with Rachel and with Vanessa. So yeah. Then Danielle M, it's like that's even worse. Danielle M, I feel as if she was a pity rose from like the very first one-on-one date ever on the season. I felt like she was a pity rose. Like after she told that personal story about her her late fiance who died of drug overdose or whatever, he was kind of like, oh, okay, Rose. So I think that's kind of how it was, because I don't see any chemistry between them. Personally, not to be rude, she seems like a sweet girl. Don't know her, but everyone seems to like her, so I'm cool with her. I don't have any problem. I haven't seen anything that would make me dislike her. Her voice grates on my nerves. Like, I don't feel as though I could take it for too long, or I'd be very disinterested in whatever she'd have to say. I mean, people might say that about my voice if you guys hear me, but that's just what I have to say about it. Sweet Woman is just like, from the very first episode, I was just over her voice. I was like, I can't, it's putting me to sleep. That's what it's, I don't know, it's sad. So they were there. You could tell, like, when Nick was on the bench with Danielle L, and she's like, oh, I finally get to have this like personal time with Nick or whatever. You could see that his body was like not facing her. It was more like facing the camera. Her body was towards him and she was trying to be playful with him, and he sort of returned the playfulness, but I don't know, when she touched him or when she tried to get close to him, I don't feel as if he was really feeling it. I think he kind of just felt like he had to do it to keep up appearances. And when he gave her the rose, I feel as if that was to keep up appearances as well, not to hurt her feelings, because she's clearly here with it and he's like here with it. I don't, like, no, she's not staying around. I don't even think she'll make it to hometowns. That would be pointless, because there's still Raven and Vanessa in the picture, and Danielle L, even though, once again, I don't think that's going to go anywhere. If anything, that would be his top four: Rachel, Vanessa, Danielle L, and Raven. That's what I think. So yeah. Also, that group date missed me with that whole thing. I don't do haunted houses. I do believe in ghosts, and so I don't want to be where the ghosts are. Second of all, as a black woman, you're not bringing me to a plantation. Okay, I noticed in The Bachelor, for some reason, they would never explain what it was, but the minute I saw that like mansion, I was like, that's a plantation. I've watched too many movies, seen Roots and 12 Years a Slave and just everything to not know that that's a plantation. And they were clever to try to not call it a plantation when they were like saying like, what's this place's name? It was like the Humus Haunted House or something like that. I'm like, that's a plantation though. Like, we're not gonna address the fact that that's a plantation. And they telling this silly like story about this little 8-year-old girl named Molly or May, whatever. I don't remember. And I'm like, that house is not haunted. Number one, I do believe in ghosts. I don't believe that house was haunted. It just seemed like a production sort of thing. But honestly, I still don't want to be on that date because even if I know better, my mind would just like run away with me. Like, my imagination would just run away, and I'd still think that I was experiencing like an encounter with like a paranormal encounter, and I couldn't deal. I wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, but that house is not haunted. But if it was haunted, I promise you, May is not the one that's haunting it. Okay, little Molly is not haunting that house. It's probably all the dead slaves that were whipped or something, I don't know, that died there unjustly. So I just didn't like them, one, taking the girls to a plantation as a date. That's not cute. Okay, I'd be side-eyeing all day Jasmine. That's why she was probably like, I'm over this. I don't believe in this, whatever. She was probably over it because she's like, how dare you all, Bachelor, take me to a plantation. Miss me with it. But yeah, just how would you make that a date that's not cute? Okay? And then to just gloss over the whole history of it and try to hide it and then make up this like kitschy little story about this ghost girl named May. Don't. So yeah, I was not into the group date at all. And then we went on to the 2-on-1 date with Corinne and Taylor, and Taylor ended up going home, and I'm not particularly upset by that. I mean, Corinne was a crack up, honestly. I'm not a fan of her, but she is growing on me as the season progresses. I do hope that at some point she leaves, just because if she made it that far, then I'd really have to wonder what I'm watching. Excuse me, sorry. But for now, I don't mind her staying. They're trying to trick us into thinking that maybe Corinne and Taylor both end up leaving because Taylor decided that after she was denied the rose and Corinne was given it instead, that she would come and confront Nick and tell Nick more things. I don't know what else she has to tell Nick, quite honestly, and I don't think that her telling Nick would reverse his decision on her anyway. Like, either way it goes, I think it's like, bye, Taylor. Like, he doesn't have a connection with you. He has 4 other girls that I'm sure he'd prefer to stay. So you're dispensable. Sorry. But I don't think Corinne is going to go either. He already made the decision. I think he feels as if he would look stupid if he were to like go back on that and also kick her out too. I'm okay with one more episode of Corinne at the very least. So that's fine. There were some people that I was surprised to see go. Just Sarah. I felt as if they gave her a lot of screen time for like nothing to have happened between her and Nick. So I was kind of rooting for her a little bit, but if she had to go, it is what it is. That's fine. I didn't know her, so no harm, no foul. And who else left? I feel like there were other people that stayed on the show that I felt should have left as well. I'm like Jasmine, Jamie, Josephine. Oh, that's funny. They're all J's. Yeah, like they should have been out. They should have bounced. So I'm not understanding why they're still there. I don't know what they really add to the show. Alexis, she also needs to go, but she also is a bit of comic relief. And you want to know what's funny? I think that Alexis and Nick have a better relationship than he and Danielle M, the one that got the first group rose, or maybe her last initial is L. I'm not sure. I confuse the two. The blonde one that puts me to sleep, whose voice puts me to sleep. Yeah. I feel like Alexis Shark Girl has a better relationship with Nick than Danielle M does. And she's not even like a factor. So I really don't know why Danielle M is still around, but hopefully she's gone soon too. So that's my recap for The Bachelor, and I'll come at you guys with another one. I'm probably going to recap other shows, but thank you for watching. Okay.